No, we're going to make cotton balls today. So it shouldn't take me more than half an hour, and I should be good the rest of the day. Meow. Waiting for everybody to join. I'm late. I don't know if they've abandoned me. They may have abandoned me. There's Angie, Ivory, Vito, David, Valentine. All right, I'm looking for my regulars here. We're doing spa week. Now stay calm. Boy, I needed to see that today. Reading through all the people that are jumping in. All right, so in the meantime, this is a spa week for my crochet tutorials. Oh, hello, Samantha. I know I'm late. It's been a little chaotic. Crochet Spa week. So far for Crochet Spa week, we've done the spiral, base cloths, we've done soap cozies, we've done body cloths, and we have done headbands. My ends aren't woven in yet. Next on the list, we are going to do cotton balls. If you've missed any of the tutorials that I've done so far, you can catch them at my YouTube channel, NiftyKnotz, at the playlist / podcast, NiftyKnotz Talk. Good morning, Cindy. A little bit late today. And most of those, I checked this morning, and it looks like the one that I tried to upload yesterday, which I thought I was ahead of the game, and it was going to be uploaded early. Looks like it's still pending on YouTube, so I have to go back and see what that's all about when I'm done. A little bit of chaos this morning, so really late this morning. So I'm going to jump right in, and we can talk about all that later on this evening because, anyway. So, pull up my sleeves. On that note, we are going to do cotton balls, and they are going to be quick and easy so that we can make a ton of them so that we can put in our little bag in our little spa kit. First off, I know a lot of people don't like to use a magic ring or a magic circle. Oh, totally get it. Cindy, you know where to find this when you, if you have to jump off, you know where to find it later if you need to, or I can explain it later on this evening if you want to come back. It's not a problem. Trust me. I get it. Okay, so a lot of people don't like a magic ring, which is fine because you don't need to use a magic ring to do your circles. You can just do a chain 2 method. So your chain 2 method would just simply be I would leave a longer tail so I can weave it around, and then I would chain 2, 1, 2, and the chain is just simply yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. And then in the second chain from the hook, not the first one, but in the second chain from the hook, you're going to do 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and our single crochets are going to be US standard terms. So it's going to be insert your hook into your stitch, yarn over, pull your loop through your stitch, yarn over, and pull your loop through 2 stitches. That's what we're using as a single crochet. So that makes 4. Again, our single crochet is going to be insert our hook, yarn over, pull it through our stitch, yarn over, pull it through both loops on the hook, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I will do one more, and that gives me 6. If you were doing a magic ring, you could pull it closed. If you did the chain 2 method, you can actually take this tail and you can weave that tail around in there and then pull it tight and snug, and it will do the same thing as a magic ring. You would just then fasten it off. We are making cotton balls. which are going to be basic and simple and just ridiculous. So, but you don't even have, but I don't really think you even have to do that at this point. So the next round around, I'm going to increase in every stitch around to give me 12. These are just going to be like basic circles. Now you can increase in two different ways. You can take your stitch and you can, in the first stitch, see your stitches there. There you go. You can do 2 single crochets right in your stitch, or you can take your stitch and so you have a top loop and a bottom loop. You can do the first single crochet in the top loop and then the second single crochet in the bottom loop. However you want to do your increases will work for this, because it doesn't really matter either way. And I don't know why, for some reason. Oh, there it is. So you could do either 2 single crochets under both loops, or you could do the first single crochet under the back loop, the second single crochet under the second loop, and you can use that as your increase if you want to. I'm going to make this simple, so I'm just going to increase under both loops of my stitch. So I'm just going to go through both loops, and I'm going to put 2 single crochets in that one. And just because I want to keep track of my rounds, because I'm working in spirals, I am going to put my stitch marker in the first stitch of my round so that I can keep count. So I know that's 2 stitches. I'm going to go to the next one and do 2 more stitches. That gives me 3, 4.
You think this should be fine? I think I look cute.
It does look cute. 5, 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think this is what I'm gonna do.
7, 8. 9, 10. And in the last one, 2 more stitches, 11, 12. And again, they're just single crochets all the way around. So now I have my circle that is still pretty teeny tiny, which is okay. Now I'm trying to decide, do I want to keep them teeny tiny or make them just a little bit bigger? And I think I want to make them just a little bit bigger. Ah, Claudia, it has been a long time. I was just going to say that. I just saw your comment up there. We are doing well. I think he's kind of resolved himself to the fact that this is my time, so he's been leaving me alone in the mornings, which is good. We were doing Spa Week. So if you haven't been here in a while, this is Spa Week, and we're going to continue Spa Week because we got lots of things that we can put in this kit. Day 1 was the spiral scrubbies. Day 2, we did little soap cozies. Day 3, we did body cloths. Day 4, which I haven't woven in my ends yet, we did headbands. And today we're going to make cotton balls, so we can make a bag of cotton balls, reusable. And then next week we're just going to continue Spa Week, and we're going to make like a bag that we can wash our cotton balls in, maybe a bag to put everything in, maybe like a little back scrubber, like a back washcloth. There's all kinds of neat things. So that's what we're doing this week. So now we have our circle to 12. And I'm going to take my circle to 18. So I'm going to remove my stitch marker because that's my first stitch. And in my first stitch, I'm just going to put 1 single crochet. And again, that's through your stitch, yarn over, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2 of your loops. US standard terms, because there is a difference. And in the next stitch, so in the first stitch, we put 1 single crochet. In the next stitch, we're going to put 2 single crochets. In the next stitch, we're going to do 1 single crochet. And then in the next stitch, we're going to do 2 single crochets. So every other stitch is going to be an increase. And that will give us 18. So I'm going to work my way around here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's why I put the stitch marker there, so I can count. That's 10. The next stitch is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and the last stitch should be an increase, 17, 18. So now we have our circle to 18, and it's still pretty small because we don't want our cotton balls too big, just big enough that we can get whatever we're using on our base. I'm using white, or off-white actually. I would use like witch hazel or rubbing alcohol, like isopropyl alcohol, depending on how warm it is. In the winter I like to use witch hazel. In the summer I will actually use rubbing alcohol as an astringent because, good morning Billy Dawn, it has a very quick evaporation rate, so it's cooling, and I like that in the summertime. So you can use whatever you want on them, I guess. I know I've used those two products on these, and they've worked fine, and they've washed fine. Stuff with color in it, I don't know if it would stain it or not. You would just have to try. But at that point, if you're going to use stuff with color on it, you might as well use it on all of them and just kind of like, it dyes them all, which is fine too. So next round around, so we did our first round is 6. Our first round was 6. Our second round we increased in every stitch, that's 12. Our third stitch we increased in every other stitch, that gives us 18. And now I'm just going to simply single crochet around 18. I'm going to mark my first stitch so I don't lose count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, same single crochet, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and I think I'm going to do one more round of 18 even. So that's 2 rounds of 18 even. So we did our 6, 12, 18, and we did our first even round of 18, and I'm going to do my second even round of 18. So technically there's 3 rows of 18, but the first one is an increase row, and then the next 2 are even rows. And I'm just going to work my way around and do my 18 stitches. Again, I put my stitch marker in the first stitch so that I don't lose track of things, because I do. And I'm almost there. All right, so I did 2 even rounds of 18. It's starting to look a little cup there. I don't want it too poofy. If you want it a little bit poofier than that, you could do another row of 18, but I really don't. So the next round I'm going to do, just like we did a single crochet and then an increase, we're going to do a single crochet and a decrease. And there are 2 different ways that you can decrease. So let me do my first stitch, and then I'll show you the 2 different ways that you can decrease with your single crochet. So the simplest, and I can show it to you this way, would be to just insert your hook, yarn over, pull through your stitch, insert your hook into the next stitch, and yarn over and pull through your stitch, and then pull through all three. That's one way that you can decrease, and that's the way it looks. Because you've pulled two stitches together as one. Or, and this is the way I like to decrease, and I will use this decrease method on this. You come up underneath, you can see your, so you would come up underneath this one, just the front loop, and then you would come up underneath this loop, so up underneath the first loop, up underneath the second loop. So you can see I've skipped the back loops of both of those stitches, and I just went through the front loops of both of those stitches at the same time. Then I would yarn over and pull through both of those stitches, and then yarn over and pull through my two loops. So let me see if I can do it this way to show you a little bit better. Let's see, there you go. Is it going to show me? If I move around, will it focus? I'm trying to get it focused, which I don't know that it's going to. So I would take my next stitch, all right, I'm going to forget about the tail and holding my yarn for now. I'm just going to show you your placement. So what you would do is you would go up underneath the first loop, the first front loop, bring your hook around and go up underneath the second. I know it's a little bit blurry. And at that point in time, you would yarn over your hook and pull through both of those loops, and then yarn over your hook again and pull through both of the loops on your stitches. And that gives you a decrease that looks a little bit different. I don't know why it's not focusing. It gives you a decrease that looks a little bit different, and it eliminates like the bump or the ridge. Oh, sure, now it focuses when I move. Let's see if I can show it to you that way. So the placement, of course not. Those are my stitches. I would come up through this first loop. This is not, I don't know why it won't focus. I'll just show it to you the way I usually do it. So your working thread's in the back. This is the stitch we've already worked into. These are the next two stitches we want to decrease. You would come up through this first stitch, just the front loop, then you would come back down, and I like to twist my hook so that it kind of picks it up. You come up through the second front loop, and after you've done that, you can yarn over and pull through both of those front loops. I pulled through both front loops at the same time, and then I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to pull through the two loops left on my hook. And it gives you a little bit different look. It kind of pulls the stitches together from the bottom instead of pulling the stitches together from the top. Yes, that's an increase, an invisible decrease. So you can do either one on this project. An invisible decrease is something that's good for a lot of it, like amigurumi, when you really don't want to see your decreases. But to be honest with you, I'm making a cotton ball that's going to be used and trashed, pretty much. not used and trashed, but well used. So it doesn't really matter if I do an invisible decrease or not. Anyway, our round that we're doing is a decrease round. So it is single crochet in one stitch, decrease over the next 2 stitches. Single crochet in the next stitch, work your decrease. Single crochet in your next stitch, work your decrease. And then that should bring you back to 12. After all that chattering for no reason. And good morning, Tyler. And everybody else that's joining. Who else is joining? Melissa, good morning. My other Cindy, good morning. Janie, good morning. I caught you that time. So again, just working my way around until I get to the beginning of the row. So we did a round of 6, then we increased in every stitch, doing a round of 12, and then we increased in every other stitch, doing a round of 18, and then we did 2 more even rows of 18, and then we did a single crochet and then a decrease, and then a single crochet and a decrease all the way around. And that takes us back to 12 stitches. And you guessed it, we're going to just decrease all the way around now to bring us back to 6 stitches. So it's 1, and I'm going to put my stitch marker in my first stitch because you'd think you could count the 6, but it doesn't always work. 2, especially when I'm chattering away. 3, 4, 5, closing up our cotton ball here, 6, and actually with the last decrease, you can pull that all through as a slip stitch instead of actually making a 6th decrease. You can just begin your stitch like you were going to begin your stitch, and then just pull it through as a slip stitch instead of pulling it through your stitch and then pulling it through your loops. Okay, so now I have pretty much looks like that, just like a little tiny cotton ball. I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to pull it through, tie my knot. This is the tail end from inside. And I'm actually going to reach in with my hook and I'm going to grab that tail end. So it's coming out the bottom. So that's my tail end where I started. And this is my tail end where I ended. So where I ended, I'm going to take my longer tail where I ended, and I'm going to take the top of mine, and I'm just going to go through each top loop, or each front loop. So through the front loop, through the next front loop, through the next front loop, through the next front loop. I'm just going through all the front loops all the way around, so it should be 6. I have 2 more to do here. And then I'm going to take that and I'm just going to pull it. And I'm going to pull it closed as tight as I can. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it through the center here and bring it out at the center at the bottom to make like a little squishy, it'll be like a little squishy but it'll be secured in both sides, so you can actually like hang on to it, and it's not just like a rolly little like unfilled ball there. And then I'm going to take it and I am just going to tie a knot in that. And I'm going to pull my knot pretty tight there, tying the tops and the bottoms together. And after I've done that, it's probably the easiest ends you'll weave in. You can either weave your ends in around here first, just for a little bit more security, so I'm going to do one of my ends like that. And I'm just going to, I'm just simply going to take it like I would with my circle, and I'm just going to weave that in around there. And I'm going to cut it a little bit short, but I don't want to cut it too short. What did I just do? Make a mess. Okay. So I'm going to cut it short, but I'm not going to cut it too short, because if I cut it too short, the ends will pop out. So I'm going to leave my tails maybe about 4 inches long. Each one about 4 inches long. I'm going to leave my needle on there. So I'm going to leave my tails maybe about 4 inches long. I'm going to cut them off. I'm going to put both strands on my needle. And I'm just going to find a spot in the middle or wherever, and making sure I don't come out the back side. I'm just going to, well, you might have to come out the back side too. If you come out the back side, see, I'm going to go through that stitch there just to get some of it in there, just to pull my ends in. But now I'm going to go back into that same stitch, into the exact same hole, and I'm just kind of going to weave them and pull them back through until they disappear. Give it a tug, and then I'm going to do it one more time. I'm just going to go through the same hole, so I'm just going to keep weaving it in on itself until I have those ends, and you can actually grab it and catch it and then give it a tug so that everything falls in. And that was like the most ridiculously simple thing that you can possibly do, for the most part. So now you have, it's secured in the middle, but it's poofy on the outside. So you can see it's poofy on the outside. You can squish it on the outside, but yet the center is going to stay secured to each other. So you have what looks like little cotton balls, little marshmallows. And they are, you can see, just big enough to use as like a cotton ball. That's day 5 of Spa Week. I know, it's been like ridiculously simple this week. It is the end of the school year. It's just gets busy. After graduation, things start to slow down a little bit. And this will be the last year I have to worry about that, which is fantastic. I'm excited. All of my kids have been graduated from high school. Yep. Perfect for that little self-care kit. So I'm probably going to make about 10 of them. I don't know, maybe 12 of them. That gives you at least a day's worth. And then next week we will come back, we'll make a little bag for them so that you can just throw them in your bag and wash them so they don't get lost in the wash. And see what else I can come up with for our little spa kit there. Cotton balls. Alright, on that note, I will see what's going on with yesterday's video and make sure it gets uploaded, since for some reason it shows me it's still pending. And I will upload this one as well. are simple little cotton balls. And for those of you that missed the rest of my tutorials, the spiral face cloth, soap scrubby, body cloth, and of course don't forget your headband, which I still haven't woven in my ends, or little headband, which is stretchy. You can catch those on my YouTube channel at NiftyKnotz, NiftyKnotz, one word, and the playlist / podcast is NiftyKnotz Talk, NiftyKnotz, separate word, TOK like TikTok. And I'm glad you guys enjoyed this week. Thank you very much, Cindy, and everybody else that's still here, and Janie. And I will see you guys later, because I still have lots to get caught up on personally and lots to chatter about later on tonight. So, in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for joining me.